For the 10th millionth time, I have gone and redone my office studio again. This is actually version 11 since we first started putting out YouTube videos in June 2021. We are now close to 2.5 years or 2 and a bit years. But the reason for this video is because every so often the tech I'm using or how I'm producing or editing or recording just evolves over time. And I want to go over some of that tech and what I'm doing, and I will show you that as well and how my equipment and desk is set up. And I'm also, towards the end, also going to mention how am I currently recording YouTube shorts as well, or TikTok shorts as well, if you want to call them that. And what's the equipment I'm using? Is it any different? And how am I editing? Because that is actually really, really important. And a lot of the stuff I'm using is very cost effective. The only things that will cost you a bit of money will be the hardware, but you know, that's entirely up to you what you want to use. Don't just use something because someone else has said it. But stay tuned as we start to go through my studio. So here's a quick tour of how the room looks in the daylight. I have curtains. They are blackout curtains and soundproof as well. So they kind of block out the sound, which is really, really good. And they block out light. But this room is really versatile for me. It's my ground floor study room. It's about 4 meters by 3 meters. Yes, there's a lot of junk in here. I'm not going to lie. You can see a lot of equipment. You can see my exercise equipment as well. But I have a lovely corner in the room whereby I have a blank wall and quite a bit to the side. I've got a desk. This is actually made up of 2 desks, okay? 75 centimeter and just over about 1 meter 20. So it's about 195 butted up together. The reason why I've got 2 desks is basically I wanted a very long desk, but I didn't want to get a big dining table. I have one area of my desk which I use for my walking treadmill. I use that quite a lot during the day, about 2 to 3 hours a day. When I'm not recording, I might be working on a website or working on stuff or investigating, researching or editing. It's great to have that. Great to have. Anyway, and then I have behind me, you can see my 3 LED screens. And I love that because it brings out something different in terms of video recording. It's like a talking point. People always are commenting with, where did you get that? What are they? And I have to pass on the details. They're not cheap, but they are 3 separate LED screens hooked up together. And you can see the wire dangling over there and it kind of leads down to a PowerPoint. But the great thing about the software for that is that you can connect them together. Okay, right. Let's now start going over the equipment I got. So we've covered off the screens at Moth 2 if you want to go and search for them. We have 2 LED lights as well that I just got from Amazon. I can't remember what they're called. I think they're just called LED standing lights or something. They're not that expensive. And the great thing is you can change the color. I've got a remote control for that. I can even change the height and extend them if I want. I like the height they currently are at the moment. What we have, though, in my room, if you look at the layout, is behind my 49-inch wide screen, I have a light here. It's a diffuser light, and it kind of lights up my face in a pretty good way. There are different settings for it. I can go really bright. I can go really dull. I can go to a warm setting. I can also go to a cold, but I think the white setting set on 50 is pretty damn good. And if I want to get more light onto me, I could just open the window, but then the trouble with outdoor light is it can be unpredictable. All of a sudden, you could be recording and the shade suddenly goes higher or lower, and you might get a bit of glare on your glasses. If you wear glasses, it's a bit of a pain. Okay, I also have a sound system hooked up to my Mac Mini M2. Why have I got a Mac Mini M2? Because I used to use my MacBook Air, which I still have, but I use my Mac Mini M2, which I just got about 4 or 5 months ago, because of the amount of USB-C ports. I've got a port in here which hooks up to my dynamic microphone that you can see here. This is a FiFine microphone. It's about £100, $120 or something like that. This is wired in via a USB, so you don't need any special audio interface. It plugs in and it goes into USB. This is a dynamic microphone. A lot of microphones that you're going to see out there are condenser. Condenser microphones will pick you up, any humming sounds and anything else happening around you. The dynamic microphone is going to pick up, it might pick up some of the sound here or maybe over here as well, but you've got to be over the microphone to get the best quality. And that's why I love it. So even if my son is downstairs and he's talking away, because the door is shut, I can hear him, but the microphone can't. Even though I can hear him talking or laughing, that does not pick it up because he's not here talking through it. So if you care about your sound quality, I would pay attention and go and get yourself a dynamic microphone, not a condenser, because that will pick up other noises. My webcam is an iPhone. I have an iPhone 15 here that I use for my TikTok or YouTube shorts because it's more portable. But when I'm recording with my desk like I am now, I use my old iPhone 12 mini. This is an iPhone 12 mini, right? You can even use an iPhone XR, but if you want to get really good 4K quality, and I'm going to explain that in a moment, you want to make sure you've got a phone or an Android phone that is greater than the spec for an iPhone 11. Anything below an iPhone 11 won't get the full-on 4K, so please bear that in mind with the solution that I'm going to show you in a moment. That is hooked up to my computer. I can do this wirelessly if I want, but if you are worried about any delay in sound or quality, you might be talking and then the video might be like a split second behind or ahead. It's a good idea to make sure you are wired up to your machine because then it's basically seamless. In front of the iPhone, you will notice there is a polarizing filter lens. Basically, what that is that it stops the reflection from my screen. Now, if you're not wearing glasses, you might not need that. I wear glasses, so in a dark room when the lights are off and I've got my lights on, and by the way, I've got an LED light over here and I've got an LED light over there, and I can change the direction of them to you can see it on my hand at the moment there. You can see the blue light over there, just hitting my hand and the side of my face. It just adds something a little bit different. And if I turn that off, even though I have a light in front of me here, can you see my face goes a little bit dark over there? Now, you might not be bothered by that, but I think this adds a little bit of extra interest. So because of my screen here, when I'm doing tutorials, I get the reflection of the screen hitting it, and you will see like white on my glasses. In my earlier videos, you will have spotted it, and it really irritated me whenever I was editing. So this polarizing lens filter, what you do is you turn the dial, and the dial then, you get to a point, you'll notice there's a point where now the reflection, there is a little bit still there. You can still, by the way, that is from the light above. If I move down, you won't get that. But there is not so much glare now coming from my lens. And believe me, without that filter, you would basically be seeing something like this, even when my head was down, which is super flipping annoying, okay? I'm so jealous of people that don't wear spectacles, because I wear spectacles. And before you say go and get contact lens, me and contact lens, we don't gel, okay? We don't go well together. So I'm using my iPhones, but even though I've connected that to my Mac Mini M2, how am I able to get the full 4K quality? Because you'll notice, normally, when you hook up a phone to your computer, you will see the settings for your phone down here and here, maybe at the top as well. You might see the button. You might see the 460, 60 frames per second. You'll see bits and pieces. And you end up having to zoom out. And then when you zoom out, you kind of get a bit of a blurred resolution maybe. And you're going, I really want to get the full on screen. So here's what I use. Reincubate Camo. The link will be in the video description. You can use this on a Mac. You can use this on a Windows machine. You can use this on an Android. You can use it on an iPhone. This is basically going to give you the full on 4K quality. It basically just comes through. And of course, I use some separate recording software. This is not recording software. This is just for you to get the full 4K quality coming in. There's loads of amazing settings on here, and I'm going to show you that. How surreal is this? You're now viewing me via the camo that is hooked up. What happens is that this is going to come through. And by the way, it says my wife's name there because the iPhone Mini 12 is actually her old phone. I upgraded her phone and then pinched the old one to use as my camera. This is what is so cool about it. This is the control interface you get with camo. You can have I could switch to the selfie lens, so now it will switch to the other size lens, and you're going to get a black picture because basically the room is switched off. I've now gone to the ultra wide lens, and you can now see the polarizing filter over there, but I'm going to use the wide lens. So depending on if you had a filter on there and how you positioned it, you can actually change what you basically see on screen. This is currently on 4K quality. This is full on 4K quality, okay? We have the ability to add in overlays if I wanted to. Like I could click that and we could have a bit of an overlay, which I'm going to get rid of. You can add in other overlays as well. I mean, this is just one they give you, Jane Appleseed. I don't even know who Jane Appleseed is, but you could do that as well. But what you also have is the facility down here to kind of zoom in as well. So you can literally zoom in, but I can like pick this up and move this around as well. I mean, this is pretty damn good on what you can do with this. So key bit is what you have over here. There are loads of settings where you can start to affect your exposure, the white balance, the flash level, even like the temperature. But there are other settings like brightness, saturation, you can blur the background as well. They only work when you're doing 1080. So if I was to flick this over to be 1080p, all of these other settings, gamma, contrast, sharpness, vibrance. I mean, look, you can make yourself be more vibrant like this. I mean, look at that. That's actually, I actually love that setting. Okay, and I'm going to pop it back to be there because it just kind of makes you feel like a little bit more alive. You can also kind of blur your background a bit, but you can also control how blurred it is. You know, is it super blurry or not? You can also do face tracking as well. I'm going to switch this back to be 4K like that. And then the minute I do that, it's probably now going to... Let me just change this to be scaled to fit like that. There we go. So I'm not affiliated to Camo, but I really love what their team has done. And ever since I discovered them in, December 2021, I love what they do, okay? Especially with the fact that you now get full-on 4K quality feeding through. That is a massive, massive thing for me. Why go spend loads of money on like a high-quality webcam? Nothing wrong with that. You can do that. You can even go get a DSLR camera or SSLR-D, whatever you want to get. But if you can use something that's already in your back pocket without having to pay extra, why would you not want to do that? Because this is not free. Okay, Reincubate Camo does come with a cost, and I want to show you here. The free is just the free, but if you want to get the full-on features and all of the settings, yeah, and you want to eventually get the 4K, you are going to need to go with Camo Pro, okay, which is £40 per year. But I strongly recommend, I am not going to have an affiliate commission link down here, right? If you want to buy it, you get it. I would strongly recommend you go for the lifetime license because once you start using Camo, you will not look back. I went and got the lifetime license. At that time, it was £70, not 80. I got it in December 2021. I used Camo free for about 2 days and then I literally went, no, I got to get Pro. I want the full-on high def and all of that. So it's I would definitely say if you want to go and get it, go and get it. It's my big #1 recommendation. Right. So that is all feeding through. What about when it comes to recording? And this is where my screen may now get a little bit funny. You are going to get the dreaded screen of infinity, which is annoying, but I am using OBS, okay? OBS, go and search for it in Google and you will get it, and it's a pretty damn nice bit of kit. What this allows me to do is, and it's really easy to set up, okay, is that I can decide on what am I going to show on screen. So at the moment, if I go to properties, we are looking at the OBS studio. If I go and hit Edge, we go back to Edge. If I go and hit Camo, we will then eventually at some point come into the Camo screen. There you go. There's the Camo screen. Now let me just move it out. I'm just showing you OBS because what is really cool about this is that I have got the sound recording coming from my microphone, okay? The sound is, there it is. I've got my screen recorder, which is the big screen. So this would pull off Edge or Chrome, whatever I've got in my window on my screen here. This isn't the full 49-inch. This is only a part or chunk of my screen. I have over here circle menu. This is basically me over here. Hello, okay? And I'm basically just... I've used a bit of a filter to make myself be a circle, and then I can position myself wherever I want when I'm recording on the screen. I could also go and click iPhone. When I click iPhone, I'm now full screen, whereas if I go to circle iPhone, I'm now the small circle. I have my like over here. I have things I can pop on screen that are about the course maybe. So the Elemental course, you know, if you want to go and learn about Elemental, go and sign up for our new course. But there's overlays I can add on. OBS is so simple. When I'm recording, I hit record and I start recording, okay? I stop recording, it downloads it or shoves it on my desktop, and then I go and edit it. I can also start streaming. So when I'm streaming to YouTube as a live chat, I've set up my YouTube and I've said, right, I'm going to be live in 2 hours time. It's then connected over to my OBS. I can't show you the settings because it's got my secret key, but you set up your secret key. When I hit start streaming, I'm now going to my live chat via OBS. So I use OBS for a huge amount of things. Now, there's tons of other kit out there you could use. Don't get me wrong. There's much more sophisticated stuff. EVCam is probably one that's used a lot. There are tons of good stuff. ScreenFlow as well. Some people like to use Streamlabs, but I have found that I'm okay with OBS. I feel like it works for me, and because I do a lot of my funky stuff when I'm editing, I just want to record and ensure it records fine, and I love the quality. I used to do a lot of my editing inside of iMovie because I have a Mac and it comes for free, and this was actually a fancy bit of kit. It was dead easy to cut, intersplice scenes and videos together. You could add on backgrounds. I could drop onto a cover art clip art or images I got from Canva. I could separate out the audio. I could add in some fancy audio effects as well. There's stuff you could do. I could even add on some, where is it? I could even change the color scheme of the page over here. I could make it brighter, lighter. I could, sorry, I'm losing my words here. I could what's the word for this? Auto stabilize the audio. So if there's variations in the audio where you go a bit loud and a bit quiet, you could auto it so that it's now all more or less in tune. I'm not explaining this very well, but it makes it consistent in terms of when you're speaking. I could do reduced background noise. I could even make my voice be louder, bass boost if you wanted to. This was pretty okay, all right? I'm not going to lie. There was lots of stuff you could do with this. The trouble was, though, the transitions that you get and the way you add titles in iMovie are appallingly rubbish, okay? I never liked them and it always bugged me. And because iMovie was free, I kind of accepted and let it go. Now when it comes to editing, though, I do it in CapCut. CapCut is my new favorite tool. I've even upgraded to CapCut Pro. And by the way, again, there's no affiliate links or anything in here for you, right? This is me just being really genuine and honest. Why do I like this? Well, number one, I can click anywhere I want. I can adjust look at the screen. Look at my face there. When I hit auto adjust, can you see how it just brightened everything up? And if I didn't like it, I've got all these extra settings: illumination, shadow, highlight, contrast, brightness, sharpen, so much stuff. I can start to mess around with the video in terms of positioning, rotate, and all of that. I can modify the audio, get rid of loudness normalization, noise reduction as well. You can change the speed. Now, a lot of this you can do in iMovie as well. Not all of you definitely can't do a lot of this fantastic stuff in iMovie. But here's what I really love. If you look at any one of these video clips here, I can go and drop something in, say if I go and do that, when it moves between two different points, you get a bit of, let me just show you here, look. So watch this as it, see that transition there? It's different. And I know you're going to say, well, that wasn't fantastic, but there's loads of different effects that you've got going on here. But here's what I really, really love. When you get to transitions, right, you've got stuff like shake it. So if I was to now drop a shake it item in here, it would basically shake in. So look, you get that pull-in effect. You will have seen this in a lot of videos on TikTok and YouTube Shorts where they kind of go like that. It's almost like a dolly zoom effect, or dolly, there's a word for it, I can't remember now. What you get here is damn amazing. I mean, there is a huge range of amazing transitions here, all right? And they're not all gimmicks. Some are really good. But what also beats this is the text. I can do auto caption. I click that and I hit create. I'm just going to do it now. It's going to create captions. So if you're doing YouTube Shorts or TikToks and you want to get captions in as well, it will generate them for you. You can modify the style, the background color, the front color, the font color. You can do whatever you want to it, and it is so seamlessly easy. Now, depending on the length of your clip, this is a 54-minute clip. It might take about a minute or two, but once it's done, it's done. You can go and add in other text as well. Let me just hit cancel for a moment. Believe me, it works. In fact, I'm going to prove to you it works. If I now just show you another project, so let's go to, say, this project over here. By the way, the reason why the media is not found is because I've deleted the media, but this did have a clip. And if I show you over here, can you see all the text that's appearing? That is auto caption text that's appearing. It is super, super gloriously useful, this, okay? And you can add in audio, you can add in text, you can add in stickers, you can add in other effects that you want to add into the footage as well. Transitions, you can add in filters, you can do further adjustments. So in terms of what you can do with CapCut, it is massively good. And here's what is really, really good, right? I go to ratio and I go, right, I want it to be a 9:16. That is now the ratio for a YouTube short. So if I was to now say, I could now pick up my clip and I could make it bigger. But if you've recorded your footage as a portrait, you just drop it in and you have the perfect portrait. CapCut, you can use for free. I've only gone for Pro because I wanted all of the transitions available. That is it. And I also wanted this adjustment, auto adjust feature. If you don't have auto adjust, it's okay. You can still go in and start to mess around with the illumination and the brightness and the sharpness. It's not the end of the world. Trust me. But if you want everything, you go to CapCut Pro. CapCut Free is what you could use for your YouTube shorts. I mean, this is for free. It's what people are using all the time for TikTok and YouTube shorts as it is. So go and get it for free. Download it on your Windows machine or your Mac machine. I mean, I've got it on my phone as well, but I use the Mac version more than ever. But this is how I do my editing. And then your cover art, I go and do in Canva, stitch it together and upload. That is me talking about the layout of the studio and how I like to have things set out. But also my processes for recording, you know, how I like to channel it through OBS, and then I like to do my editing in CapCut. No longer iMovie, I've gone full on CapCut. There are other things like DaVinci Resolve, Premiere, Film Cut Pro. There's loads of things out there, but you can use CapCut for free. I know there's other stuff you can use for free as well, but the amount of features you get here, and I spend a lot of time looking at all the other solutions. So my overlays, if you think about it, are Reincubate Camo, which I paid nearly 2 years ago, lifetime cost, never pay again. And that's kind of it. Now, I did mention I use my iPhone, which also has the Camo app on here, so I get the best of both worlds, or I can just use directly my camera feed. What I have is obviously my iPhone 15 Pro, and I have this little tripod stick, right? It's just I can change the height of this. It does go quite tall. I think it goes up to about 1.8 or close to 2 meters in, no, it's 2 meters in height, I think. What I have over here, this was a little bit of an extra attachment that just screws onto the tripod. And it basically means I can position my phone on any angle I want. I can even bend it forwards or backwards or tilt it. And it is so easy to use. Look at this. Look, that's it. You don't even have to stretch it a lot, but it's nice. It's cushioned. Well, it's more like a gel, really. And that easily fits the phone. But the other thing I would recommend, though, if you are going to record from your Android or your iPhone, is do not rely on the inbuilt microphone that you get on your phone. What I recommend you do is go and get a separate microphone to plug in. And here's the one I'm using. I will put a link in the video description. This came with 2 condenser microphones. They are condenser, but I don't think you need to worry too much because they mainly only pick up the sound that is coming from here. 2 clips, you get 2 of these, and you get this. And this is a USB-C, which is great for the iPhone 15 Pro. You plug it in. You make sure you charge that up. You plug it in, you start recording, and when this is clipped and you're talking, and if you've seen any of my recent YouTube shorts that I did in the last 2 or 3 days, I was wearing this. And my camera was, I don't know. I would say if I work it out, about 2 meters away, almost 2 meters away. But this was picking up the sound and all the grunts and all the heaves and pulls as well. This picks it up. So if you are going to start recording on YouTube Shorts or anything like that, it's a good idea to get a tripod like that. You can also hold your phone, but then you're going to get a bit of shake. You just have that. You position it to be how you want. Stick your camera in portrait. You record, and then you send it over to your Mac or your Windows via a cable or AirPlay or however you do it. You just send it over, stick it in CapCut. go over to CapCut, do the auto caption, correct any words, export as 4K quality, because you can export as 4K, 2K, 1080p, 720, whatever you want, and then you go and upload. I hope you found that interesting. It was a bit of a lengthy video, I know, but I wanted to cover off as much as I could. Hey, I'm Imran, Web Squadron. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. I'll see you soon.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that.